Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I am so excited today because I am officially kicking off a brand new series on the channel, a guide to fat loss. So over the next couple of months, I'm going to release videos that are from the ground up going to teach you how to put together your very own fat loss diet. We have just started a new year. It is January 2019, unbelievable. But around this time, a lot of us are thinking about weight loss, fat loss, and gyms are pushing diets and challenges and cleanses and detoxes on us. It can be really difficult to sift through all of that information, so I just wanted to provide for you guys all of the information you really do need for a diet, put really simply, give you exact numbers, equations, whatever you need, break down everything for you from how much to eat, what to eat, when to eat, how to work out, whatever. Anything that is involved in a fat loss diet, we are going to cover. We're gonna go basically in order, or an order that I find to be appropriate for you figuring out how to create your own diet. My goal is to just give you everything that you need right here in this one place. I'm not gonna keep anything hidden from you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do with no reasoning or no explanation or without showing you exactly how I got to that point. So I think this series is gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be very useful if you are interested in putting together your own diet. I highly suggest putting together your own diet. I just think that's really motivating. I want this series to help you create your own diet if you want to, and just be able to sift through the nonsense that other people may be throwing at you, especially around this time of year. Today is the very first episode in this series, so we are going to start from the ground up with calories and protein goals. We'll go ahead and start with calories, since calories do matter most. When it comes to setting a calorie goal for fat loss, there is no one-size-fits-all number. There's also not necessarily one equation fits all to figure out, plug in, and figure out what your calorie goal should be. So I'm gonna give you a couple of options for figuring out your calorie goals today. Our first option for finding our calorie requirements for fat loss is to simply do the math. Maybe that's not so simple, but there are quite a few equations that you can do to find your BMR. We then take the BMR and multiply it by whatever activity factor is appropriate for you, and that is how you get your maintenance calorie levels. From there, you're gonna subtract 300 to 500 calories. Personally, my favorite equation is the Mueller equation because it considers how much lean body mass and fat mass you have. It doesn't just treat everything the same because your lean body mass has different requirements than your fat mass does, and lean mass is something that we want, whereas fat mass is generally something that we're trying to get rid of, especially when it comes to fat loss. A lot of people don't like doing lengthy math equations, and that's completely understandable. It can also be a little bit difficult to really decide which activity factor is appropriate for you, especially if you feel like you're very active some days and then not so active other days. So we do have a couple other options when it comes to finding our calorie needs. So our second option for finding calorie needs is to simply, very simple, and probably the most used, is to just take your body weight and multiply that by 11 or 12. 12 is gonna obviously put you on a higher calorie range and 11 at a lower. My suggestion would be to use both numbers and then just always stay between those numbers. I'll go ahead and use myself as an example. So currently I'm about 150 pounds. Times 11 is gonna put me at about 1650 calories, and times 12 would put me around 1800. So if I wanted to lose fat right now, I would wanna eat somewhere between 1650 and 1800 calories on any given day. A third option for finding your calorie goal for fat loss is to simply take what you're eating now and eat less. If you are already tracking your food on MyFitnessPal, it's going to tell you how much you have been eating. You can just take one of those days, or better, take a week and average it, and maybe on average you're eating 1800 calories. Now you want to eat a bit less. I would drop maybe to 1500 calories and start from there. Either way, any of those three ways will work for you to lose weight. If they don't, you're either not eating that much, you're eating more than that amount, or we need to drop just a little bit more. If you're already dropping by about 300 calories, I would probably suggest a drop of 50 to 100 calories more, not like 200 or 300 more. Large calorie drops are going to make it much more difficult for us to adhere to the program. And adherence is the #1 thing that we need in order to see results. Aside from a calorie deficit, if you can't adhere to the deficit, you'll never see weight loss. So any of those 3 equations will work for you to find your fat loss calorie goals. Whichever one you want to use is up to you. Choose one, try it out, stick with it, be honest about it for 2 to 3 weeks, and then evaluate from there. Okay, let's move on to our protein needs for fat loss. So before we discuss exactly what our protein needs are for fat loss, let's talk about why we're talking about protein and not carbs or fat. Protein is literally what your muscles are made up of. Most of us don't want to just lose weight, we do want to lose fat, and this is what this is a guide for, a guide to fat loss. We want to then make sure that we are maintaining as much muscle mass as we can, and if we're lucky, maybe we'll be able to add a little bit more muscle mass on while we diet. That's not going to be possible for everybody. Maybe if you're a newbie and you've never paid attention to your nutrition, tracked calories or macros before, you'll be able to do that. But at least we can hold on to as much muscle mass as possible while losing fat. In order to do that, then we're gonna prioritize our protein. So our first priority is calories and being in a caloric deficit. Our second priority for fat loss then is hitting our protein goal. Personally, I like using the equation of 2.2 to 2.4 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body mass to find my own protein needs for fat loss, but going from pounds to kilograms and whatever can be kind of tricky, I understand that. So you can also use the guideline of 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound body weight. Using myself as an example, I would be somewhere between 120 and 180 grams of protein per day. I don't enjoy eating that much protein because I do really like carbs, so I would probably stay on the lower end of that or maybe the middle range of that. If I was doing 2.2 to 2.4 grams per kilogram of lean body weight, I would probably stick with the 2.2 range just because it gives me a little bit more room to play around with other foods and I don't have to eat so much meat or eggs, which a lot of people don't find enjoyable. So either equation will work for you. Choose one, stick with that, be honest about what you're doing, and then reevaluate. That's gonna be important the whole way through. In terms of carbs and fat, we'll just touch on those really quickly, and you can kind of just let them fall wherever they fall, so long as we've hit priority 1, which is the calorie deficit, and we're being honest and reevaluating when necessary about our calorie goal and how much we're actually eating, and then hit priority 2, which is our protein needs. Then priority 3 is simply getting in good carbs, good fats, but not necessarily focusing so much on an exact number there. So that is our calorie and protein goals for fat loss, episode 1 in the guide to fat loss. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I am really excited about this series because I just really want to be able to help you guys. You can do this, you can lose weight, and you can do it on your own. Obviously, it's going to be a lot better to have family and friends, your boyfriend, your husband, whatever involved. But in terms of having to hire a trainer or having to eliminate all carbs or get rid of all processed food, completely unnecessary, and we are going to cover it all. So if you have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn post notifications on because you're not gonna wanna miss these episodes. Give this video a thumbs up and let's get excited about building our own diet and finally being successful for life. See you guys next time.